3 steps for lowering your stress and anxiety that you've probably never heard, and they're big. Hello, I'm Fracka Future, and welcome to the Vanguard Light, where we help energy sensitive people take it to the next level. And today we're going to talk about stress and anxiety. So being energy sensitive, you're kind of connected a little to more what's going on, and you're probably empath in people, and they're kind of in stressful times, and there's just so much going on. So inherently, you're going to be kind of more keyed up, a little more stressed, a little more anxiety, just by being energy sensitive, kind of tuned in, connected up, right? And I'm going to explain 3 different ways to greatly lower that. And people don't talk about it, but they're legit. I mean, it's like, what? And they're important, and they can save your life. So let's go in it. Do we go the biggest to the littlest, or the littlest to the biggest? We're gonna go from the littlest to the biggest. So the littlest one is gonna be food. And you might be thinking, whoa, food? What does that have to do with stress and anxiety? It's not a food plan. Don't worry, we're good. It's not a food plan. What it is like, you gotta understand. So your amygdala, right? The reptilian part of your brain that's kind of really big on the survival stuff. It's going to turn on, kick off when your food's challenged, right? And we're kind of in crazy times. I mean, anytime, I think just recently, hacker with the gas pipeline in the US, and people freak out and they get all the gas, right? And then you can't get to the supermarket. They start punching out the supermarket, taking all the food, yada, 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 yada. Stuff happens. There can be a limit to the food supply. And that's fundamental to us. I mean, it's fundamental, is the whole food thing. It's critical. I mean, we're mostly focused on what do they think about me, and what, and that, and oh, I'm stressed out about that, and oh, is my boss mad at me, and that's the stuff. Or oh, I got a downvote on my Facebook account, and that's what we're kind of most time thinking. Or oh man, my phone's not working, right? But your food, not having food, that's a real deal survival issue, right? And your amygdala is not going to just turn off of no, don't worry about it. We got food, right? So in an amazing way, it's super, super simple to help. At least that's because that's in the background running. You're not constantly thinking that, but it's part of the key up, right? That your amygdala is going to be keyed up, even though you're just kind of no big deal to me, right? Because we've lived like that of always access to food, that's kind of been common. But the amygdala knows, that that's not necessarily true, right? So a simple, very simple thing, super cheap to do, is buy 30 days of dry food. That freeze-dried food, 30-day supply. Most people, they have I think the FEMA was talking about that, most people don't have 1 or 2 days of food. And it's simple, just get 30-day supply of food. Knowing that if things go sideways, and I'm not talking Armageddon, I'm not talking prepper, I'm not talking building what's it called? A nuclear bunker and, that, and we're prepared for Armageddon. No, I'm just talking that stuff happens, there's glitches. Just having 30 days of food greatly calms your amygdala down. Knowing that if something happened, I'm covered for 30 days. My food's covered. 30 days. It's amazing how much, once you do that thing, because I've done it. I've actually done it. I've got 6 months. But I was living off grid and doing all that kind of stuff for a year and out in the woods, and so it's slightly different. But I mean, just having that, knowing, because when you hear stuff in the news and it's oh my gosh, it's happening, or you see people just kill the gas stations, or the toilet paper thing, and everybody just took all the toilet paper, and it makes you wonder, so all of a sudden it's there's just no toilet paper. I was so used to just going to the store and the toilet paper was there. It's not, But food, it's just smart. I mean, even FEMA says have, I think it's like maybe 7 days or something like that, but just 30-day supply. Multiple people in your family, have a bucket for each one of them. You'll be surprised at the amount of calm that it causes in your brain. You'll see there's a background stress and anxiety that goes down when you do that. And it's super cheap, and you just kind of got to know, like, hey, kind of got me a backup plan. Feels kind of good. And it's like, I don't know, I think now it's like maybe $135. I'll put a link on the one I got. You can get any of them. You don't need to get my link. I'll probably make like 30 cents. That's not the point. It's just so you can have something, just click, get it, buy, forget about it, right? And not be like, oh my gosh, I have to get the right one. No, don't get stressed about it. It's like, oh, let's just have some extra food around. Simple, right? And then the number two one, remember I said we're going from decreasing importance. Food seems really important. The second one is water. Can't live long without water. I mean, I did a 28-day water-only fast. Did not eat any food, not any food, not no juice, not no bone broth. We're talking I had water only for 28 days. So I know you can go 28 days without food. It's kind of weird. 3 weeks in, I mean, I was kind of like, this is kind of weird because I haven't eaten any food. I mean, after 2 days, you stop going poop. I didn't poop or eat. I'm just kind of like, this kind of bizarre that you can go that long. Anybody in the Western world could probably easily go. I'm not giving you medical advice. Don't get crazy on me. Could easily go 30 days. It wasn't like I was super overweight at the time and had all these extra resources. It's just being in the Western world, we eat abundantly, especially compared to a lot of people out there that are starving, that you can go 30 days and be pretty much fine. Resets your digestion really good. So, but water, number 2, water. Life Straw, I will give a link where you go to a stream, water, whatever, and actually get some water from it in case something happens to the water supply. And I'm not talking Armageddon, I'm not talking permanently, but it's only like 2 days you get into a big old mess not having water, big time. And I was in Austin and we had it was a super rain and it kind of overflowed the water filtration thing, and we had to boil our water, but it was like the water was contaminated. And if for some reason that the gas pipes got, it's just very simple. I mean, they're like $20, Life Straw. That also lowers the amygdala. The amygdala is constantly on that thing. They're like, where's my food? Where's my water? Where's my food? Where's my water? Where's my food? Always stressing on that, right? But if you get it clear, like, oh look, I got a backup water supply. And kind of get an idea where's your possible river that you could go to if you needed to. Preferably not have to drive. Simple. And but they're very important. For the amygdala is really keyed up on this. It's super keyed up on this. And it's so unconscious that you don't realize, but as soon as you're like, okay, I'm gonna have a Life Straw, right? I got a Life Straw, I got a couple. I also keep little packets of water in my truck and stuff like that. But I go off grid and go do some crazy stuff. So, but it's simple. And it's a really good survival thing. Have a backup water source. Like again, I'm not talking Armageddon, it lowers that amygdala. It lowers that just background stress of just realizing I do have a backup if we don't have water for a couple of days. That's okay, right? And now, the number 1. You think water would be pretty important. What's the number 1? And the number 1 is oxygen, breathing. Now I'm not saying go around, have a little oxygen supply thing. That's what we have up in the mountains. You don't need to do that. That's for a completely different purpose. But what that one is just bringing the attention to mouth breathing. Most of us breathe through our mouth, right? And we're not, it's like keeping your lips closed. Doing a lot of talking can cause you to overbreathe, which can cause a lot of problems in the body, inflammation, allergies. I think it's allergies. It can also rot your teeth. I had gone through a bunch. I actually had surgery on my tongue to help with my breathing, on my lips, so I could close them properly, and I had to go through a whole process of re-educating breathing. because it's so important. And by not breathing properly, especially like sleep apnea, and you kind of got your mouth open and you know, and then you stop breathing, right? Your tongue's clogging your airway. Talk about a freak out to your amygdala, right? You can't breathe. You know, cover your mouth. Like, take a deep breath, breathe all your air out, cover and hold, breathe out, and see how long you can hold your breath. But see how freaked out you'll be. You know? Do it for 5 minutes. Don't do it for 5 minutes. Don't do it for 5 minutes. But I'm just saying, like, we take for granted that we can breathe. But this is an example, and it's not so much of like you store up on it, but by retraining your breathing, that will greatly lower background stress and anxiety. Because if you're constantly over breathing, which causes a lack of oxygen in the body, I'm pretty sure that's what it was, that like, it's great, it's diminishing your health in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways it diminishes your health, but it's also, you know, your amygdala knows that. It's like, I'm not getting the oxygen I need. I'm not breathing the way I'm supposed to, because it's fully in touch with what's the best way we're supposed to breathe. What's gonna kill us. I mean, anytime you've been like startled or jumped, like when you see it, like looks like a snake, but maybe it's not a snake, boom, it's like pow. You respond fast because your amygdala is just scanning and waiting, and it knows when you ain't breathing right, and it's gonna create extra level anxiety of like, we're not breathing correctly, I don't feel good, I don't feel comfortable. And that's every breath that it could be keyed up on. So those top 3 things, one is food, and it is actually lowest, but it's super important, could save your life. Just get some backup food. 30 days, it's super cheap, 130 bucks, save your life, save your family's life, real critical. Number 2, water. It's like 20 bucks. Have a backup water source. Life straw, awesome, 20 bucks. And number 3 is breathing. This one's a little more involved, but it's more critical than the other 2 for your just overall health. The other 2 will save your life if something gets sideways, but the breathing will increase your life, increase your longevity, increase your athletic performance, increase your health. The book I recommend is Oxygen Advantage. I've read it, gone through it, got the audiobook and the physical book. I'll also make 15 cents because I think I'm using an affiliate link, but I'm not going to stress on that. I'll probably just put it in there first. But anyway, those 3 things, pick them up, try them, because that can greatly lower your just background stress. We've got enough stress. Let's remove some of the background and actually take legitimate concerns. I mean, you're not going to appease your amygdala with a legit concern, you know? It's not going to calm down when the bear's running at you and you're just doing your ohms. It's going to be like, no, that's a bear. I'm not wrong on this one. A lot of times it is. It's keyed up. It's wrong. I got a downvote on Facebook. Yeah, that's not something to be stressed about. But not having food, yeah, that's probably legit. Not having water, yeah, that's legit. Not getting the right air in, yeah, that's legit. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully that was new. A surprise of like, whoa, those are legit. Those are real deal. And they can make a profound effect. Because background is like the base level of stress and anxiety, and everything's above it. But if you bring that down, all the stress comes down. It's lowering it for everything, because those are just base level things that we deal with. So if you like the video, give me a like. If you want to hear more content like this, subscribe. And until we talk again, have a blessed day or a blessed night.